Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us on International Women's Day. My name is Libby. I'm the State Manager for Victoria and Tasmania for Thermomix, and I'm joined by two of our field members. We have Moira Tobin with us today, who's one of our top-selling consultants across Victoria and Tasmania, and Adaline Barker, who is actually one of our new team leaders just joining us from Bendigo. So Moira and Adaline, thanks for joining today, and thanks for sharing your story, particularly on this famous day of International Women's Day. And certainly we're in a great position, aren't we, working in the company that we're working for and in the careers that we've chosen. And Moira, I wonder if you wouldn't mind starting off with telling us a little bit about your journey and why you decided to join our Thermomix community.
Yeah, sure, Libby. Thanks for having me on today. I'm the mother of 4 children, and of course the career I had, the career I had before having children really wasn't conducive to family life. It was in event management. So after the 4th child was born, I sort of had to reinvent myself. I went to a health retreat, and at the health retreat, they said, why don't you become a personal trainer? So I started personal training, and it was great while the children were little. I had 4 babies in 6 years. But when they became teenagers, it was just exhausting work, and, you know, you had to get them to school sports and everything. And I had to reinvent myself again. So I had a little break. And I already owned a Thermomix, but I met a consultant in an organic shop, and I said, I really need to use use the steaming function in the Varoma, and let's have a demo at my house. So she came over, and it was there. I kept on selling the Thermomix with Fit Food, and she came over, and I said, hang on, don't buy any Thermomixes, guys. I'm going to see about this consultancy program, and took it from there. I didn't plan on staying. I was only for I think most consultants join.
Yeah.
And I said to my team leader at the time, I'll sell one Thermomix for you, and I'm out. I'll promise to sell one a month, but that's it.
And how many customers have you welcomed to the Thermomix community now, Moira?
My next goal is 700.
Wow,
so
that is phenomenal. Unbelievable. So well done.
Not far off.
So who was the woman in your life that empowered you to be a strong, independent woman?
Well, I think most of us, or I think my mother probably had the greatest influence on me. I don't know how she did it. I've got 4 children. So when mum had 6 children, I'm the youngest of 6. And my father died of a heart attack at 42, and leaving mum with 6 children and to raise. And I don't know how she did it. I mean, I had a partner with my 4 children, and life's a juggle, but she had to be the sole income earner and feed us and clothe us and educate us. I just don't know how she did it. And we're all pretty normal, and we all still speak to each other. So I think, she'd be very proud of us now. So yeah, mum.
What a great job she did. I can attest to that, Moira, knowing you for now. And also, well, that has also influenced, I guess, the direction you've taken with your brand. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I remember being with mum when I was about 10 years old, and we're in, it was Safeway back then. And I said to mum, and I remember looking up at the cashier saying, Mum, please don't use plastic bags. They're going to ruin our environment. And that was 47 years ago. And I do have 5 older siblings that will attest to that. But and I used to send all the plastic wrapping back to companies in envelopes without stamps, saying, please dispose of this in an environmentally friendly manner. I don't know why I knew that. So that was, nearly 50 years ago. I begged mum, and I can see them now just rolling their eyes going, what does this girl know about, plastic's fantastic, because that's really when it was invented. So our world's gone into a little bit of decline from them, and mum having the 6 children and having no spare cash. So my brand's about zero waste, and that influence definitely has come from mum. I mean, back in the day, we used to have milk bottles with the aluminium lids, and she'd save those, and we'd take them down to Cash a Can and get money for it. So we were resourceful, not poor, but didn't take anything for granted. And there was definitely no waste in the family with 6 mouths to feed, but just appreciation of everything you owned, and, respect for our environment. Yeah.
That's incredible. Moira, before I cross over to Adaline, tell us, what's your social handle that you go by?
The business name is Duck's Back, as in water off a duck's back. So I think there's a lot of food confusion in the business was planned originally because I said to clients, you need to drink water. So we wanted a water connotation. And in creating that name, it had to be flexible, and it has grown. So I was doing the personal training, and then I went on to study permaculture. So it's duck stack, move, grow, cook, and Thermomix, of course. So it's growing food based on permaculture principles, and that's pretty much organic as well. And then, you know, of course, bringing that harvest back into the kitchen and cooking with it.
Amazing. You are definitely in the right place, Moira, and we're so happy that you're here with us. So thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Libby.
Adaline, I'd love to understand a little bit about your journey into Thermomix and what you've experienced so far.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Libby. Well, I have been a Thermomix owner for around 6 years. I had a TM5, but it was actually one of my younger sisters, Diana, who's actually a Thermomix consultant as well, as a Thermo Mama, who came to me and said, you need to upgrade to the TM6. It's amazing. Come and earn it. And I thought, you're crazy. I don't need to earn it. I will just purchase it. But she just had a bit of a chat to me about consultancy. She's like, you already sell it. You pretty much sold it to me. Why don't you have a go? So I thought, why not? She's a great sales girl. So I jumped on board. But it was really amazing. I decided to do something a little bit out of my comfort zone. I haven't worked for 12 years. I've got 5 little children, 10 and under. So, and my husband is in small business. So our life is very full. But yeah, I became a consultant, and I just started sharing our journey, why we got the Thermomix and the value that it's added to our family. And the response was really amazing. I found that people were feeling so encouraged to see healthy cooking in the kitchen. We've had a lot of focus on gut health. So a lot of cooking from scratch, a lot of organic, dairy-free, gluten-free options. Not that we are strictly all not able to have those particular food groups. But yeah, so I just started sharing a bit of our journey, and it was quite amazing for a stay-at-home mum with little ones. Sometimes you can feel quite isolated and not part of the wider world. So sharing what I was doing in the kitchen was just incredible to see how it connected with people and connected me with people.
Yeah.
Which I really found amazing. And so I am still here because I was a bit like Moira. I was only going to earn my Thermomix and probably finish up, but I've really enjoyed it.
Amazing. And Adaline, what a great story. And I'm sure your story will resonate with so many young mums out there who are feeling similar to you. Who was the I guess the female that inspired you to come along and have that sense of independence or sense of ambition or career?
Yeah, well, I'm really blessed to come from a very large family. Both my parents are from one of 8, and I'm also one of 8 children.
Oh,
and there are 7 girls in my family.
Wow.
So just imagine that epic dynamic. And look, there are so many women. Look, my mum is incredible. I've got 5. She had 8. And then my grandmothers. So my mum and my grandmothers, hands down, are the most inspirational women in my life. They all have unique and incredible stories, and they were extremely hardworking women, not to mention family life on top of that. So I'm very blessed to just come from a family where women are celebrated. We are all very strong and powerful women. And that's always a celebrated thing and a very valued thing. So yeah, it's very special.
Amazing. What a beautiful story. What a beautiful heritage you have there as well, Adaline. That's great. Tell me, I'm interested to hear from you both, the sort of community and culture you think that we have, or you've noticed that we have here at Thermomix, and who particularly that you think that might resonate to in terms of new team members and what they would what they would get to experience from our community and culture here. Who wants to go for it? Adaline, do you want to continue going?
I'll go for it. Yeah, sure. Yeah, so when I first joined Thermomix, I was quite reluctant about direct sales. I did grow up being a sales girl for my father in his small businesses, but I preferred the office and being a personal assistant to that. But when I came into Thermomix and started attending the trainings and meetings, I the first thing that really got my attention was the type of people who were consultants and were there. And I just sort of really warmed to that, which I was really surprised. And I started hearing their stories and a little bit of their experiences. And I thought, oh, these people are all really down to earth from all different walks of life. There was no stereotype or a bunch of saleswomen, I don't know, just charging out there. It was just so down to earth. I really enjoyed it. And the trainings and the meetings have been really encouraging, really educational. So a really good community to be part of.
Yeah, excellent. Thanks, Adaline. I'll touch on something you said there in just a moment. But Moira, from your perspective, what are your thoughts?
Well, we're all mothers here, and the job's given me great flexibility as well. But the community, not only with customers that I've made, but my colleagues, they're my closest friends.
Yeah.
And particularly over the last, at the beginning of COVID, I remember in February 2020, I just said to my husband, we're going to be in trouble here. No one's going to buy a Thermomix. I mean, we're both self-employed, and it was like, oh my goodness. And we had a family meeting saying, what are we going to do? But the community that we created as a team, you included, Libby, and we were having Zoom meetings where we had 500 women and a few men on with cooking, but how inspiring it was for people when it was a pretty terrible time in our lives, particularly in Melbourne, where we were all in lockdown and couldn't leave the house. So Thermomix is just, the connections that we've made are brilliant. Like just ringing, a consultant, oh, I'm here, let's catch up for a coffee, There's people all around Australia that you're now connected to. So it's just lovely catching up with people, and they're really, friends for life.
Yeah, beautifully said, Moira. Couldn't agree more. Thank you very much, ladies, for joining me today. It's been great to hear your personal journeys and your stories, particularly on International Women's Day. There's certainly so many common themes that we're all experiencing there. And I agree with you, Adaline, saying before around our community. We have so many different types of female entrepreneurs, whether they're doctors, lawyers, nurses, teachers, stay-at-home mums, so many different professions, personal trainers. We have a Zumba teacher in Moira's team. So many different backgrounds here, and we do meet such an eclectic group of women who really enjoy, I guess, that sense of community and belonging to a friendship group, as well as an educational group, and learning and being inspired by food and having amazing experiences together. I'm pretty sure that's come across in today's discussion around on International Women's Day. And I will say we were trying to go live a little bit earlier, but of course we had to pivot because we had some technology problems. And of course I'd take my daughter off to netball. So, we do what we do in this business, and it works always really well. So ladies, thank you for joining me today. And I'm sure you've inspired many, many women who will be watching this a little bit later today. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Libby. See you later. Bye, guys.